Welcome again, and we're back after a long break to the Built on Solid Rock podcast. I'm John Chisholm, and new daddy, Sean Bowen.
Yep, number 4. I don't know what's causing it. It just keeps happening.
Well, I don't know. Here at Solid Rock Recruiting, we're having a baby boom. I don't know. People start working here, and all of a sudden, we've got what? How many?
So with me included, there's like 5 or 6 people in our company who are expecting. So we did just get a new coffee machine. So I'm kind of thinking there's something in the coffee or in the water.
I think it could be the chai.
Yeah, maybe, the chai.
I've never been into chai, so I think that's why I'm not having a baby. But I did have a grandbaby. So.
There we go. So, though there might be something in the bourbon too. I don't know.
Could be. It could be. It could be the bourbon. Wow. Okay. Well, hey, today I want to talk about. It's been a while, like I said. We're coming up on the 250th birthday in America. It's great, right?
Amen.
We've got the World Cup going on here. We've got people going crazy all over the United States. They love it. We got people, the Scottish people in Boston drank up all the beer. With all the Irish people in Boston, how does that happen? You got a plan at least, right? But all the beer got drank up. It's just like people are excited. People are getting arrested or stopped at the TSA lines with ranch dressing. Don't they know that you can get it in a powder form and mix it with mayonnaise, and you'll be fine?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, like celebrating the 250th anniversary of the founding of our country. So I've been finding myself at night. I've got a phone app, and I've been listening to like a lot of George Washington stuff, and really getting a good understanding of like the history. I went to public school, and that's fine and great, but I was like, man, I'm one of those guys. You hear about guys like me, especially us younger folks, where it's like, these people know nothing about the founding of our country. And I'm like, you're right. Like, I don't know a lot. And so it's really cool to just see the energy, these small towns in Hartford here. There's all of these small towns across America are kind of joining this, it's a group. It's the 250th group, right? And so like, we've got flags up downtown. We're Main Street business. You probably saw the flag there. Yeah. Like, I love seeing like this like rejuvenation, right? Like this rejuvenation for that American spirit where people are like, hey, I'm proud to be American. And I want to utilize this time for me and my family and our community to like, let's carry this forth, right? Let's not just celebrate this just every 250 years. Like, this should be a daily thing going on. And I was listening to the radio about 2 weeks ago, because the World Cup started about a week ago, right? Week or two ago.
Just about 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. And it's incredible because there's these people coming over from all over the world, other countries, and they go to a Buc-ee's, they go to a Bass Pro fishing shop. They're just like mind blown. Like, they're mind blown. They're like, this is amazing. America is awesome, right? And I'm like, you're right, it is. It's so freaking great. Like, you can go to Bass Pro Shop and go buy, I can go buy as many guns as I want. Like, it's amazing, right? So,
well, and the funny thing is that it's kind of causing a revival kind of happiness here in the United States of America. There's 2 things that we find out. Number one, the media around the world lies. Because a lot of people are scared about coming here.
I don't want ICE to get me. It's like, dude, you're coming here legally. You're going to be fine. I was in Mexico in November. Literally, dude, I was talking to people from Canada, some people from the UK, and they're like scared to come to America. I'm like you come here legally, like when you travel, like you're going to be fine.
But now they love it. But it just turns all the media's hype on its head. It also gets me thinking, though. It also makes me kind of like, I was watching it last night, and they're like, in America, if you say, hey, where should I go to eat? Someone's going to actually engage in conversation with you. Everybody in America has a favorite place, yeah. Right? They point you down this street, they point you down that street, and they actually will, hey, why don't you come with me?
Yep. Yeah, I'll show you.
Yeah, I'll show you exactly.
Here it is on the map. Yeah. Type this in, like.
And so Americans have been branded as kind of some nasty, whatever kind of people, but the people are finding out that we're really extremely friendly. That all being said, didn't really want to talk that long about the World Cup, but it's pretty exciting though, and it's pretty exciting about America's 250. But America was built by entrepreneurs. Let's think about it.
Visionaries.
Right? Visionaries, right? America was not looking but it wasn't built by people looking for guarantees, looking for a guarantee or a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It was built by hard-working people trying to build something that's lasting, trying to build a legacy and stuff like that. So I want to talk about that because America was built by entrepreneurs, but we also see right now kind of like a lot of fear, and I think it's produced. It's just produced by media, whether it be social media, whether it be the TV news, or what, there's so much fear mongering going on out there. But in reality, let's think about it. Manufacturing is returning. Investment is growing. The stock market has been at a record level for the past few weeks, literally. I mean, it just keeps going up and up and up.
Construction is booming. And we know that because I can look at our revenue the last 2 months, and then you're like, okay, this is a small sample shot of solid rock recruiting. And then you look at that nationally. Yes, there's always parts of the country that are dead or that are stale, but things are happening. Things are shaking and baking. You know what I mean?
Well, and I think if we put it out there, in reality, a lot of the places that are not booming are the places that are really inundated with this negative, hate America, type of attitude that's just really counterproductive for everybody. It just kind of seizes up the means of production when you're not looking forward. But so the big question is that if someone started with absolutely, in the United States of America, if someone started with absolutely nothing today, right now, could they still build something extraordinary?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I mean, I think that, and I know you've been a business owner of a few different businesses. I've ran 2 different businesses. Never, you or I never came from a significant amount of money, anything like that. And I think that people have this misconception, at least in my world, people have this misconception that you have to be wealthy, or you have to come from wealth, or you have to have something given to you in order to build something, right? That is I'm not saying everybody believes that, but in my general sense, in my small world of the people I'm connected with, whether it's at church, in the office, in the community, people think that you have to be given something. And it's not true. Like,
they get so angry about the guy behind you right here, our book, Elon Musk right here,
Dude, how many people did he make millionaires after SpaceX went public? I mean, it was like thousands. All of his employees, it was thousands.
Because everybody that invested in that got
No, but his employees have stock ownership. So that's what I'm saying. The people investing, the stock is going to change, but I'm talking the employees, when that went public, they became millionaires.
The people get so angry about it. They're like, this $1 trillion could do this for this many people and whatever. Well, if Elon Musk came here from South Africa, and he didn't come from a great deal of wealth. He started with nothing and an idea. He's like a project manager, like he creates things in his mind and efficiencies about how to create it and brings that to his companies, and he makes millions and billions and now $1 trillion.
Right. And now think about that. When he first landed that beautiful, what is it, that rocket or that landing gear or whatever, the takeoff gear, and it just kind of like caught it. Think about that, because in the past, right, every time they would launch a rocket, that thing would just drop and you could never use it again. Okay. In his mind, it's so logical. It's like, man, it costs us, I don't know, 50, 100, 300 million to build one of those. What happens if we could reuse that? Okay, so apply that at a smaller scale. Like, I'll give you an example. I mean, we could give many examples within our own company. Like, hey, this process is broke. And if we just sat there and said, yeah, that's just the way it is. Our CRM, they can't fix it. Yeah. This vendor can't fix it. Like, that's like, no, like entrepreneurs and people like Elon Musk who embody that American entrepreneur spirit, I think has created this, in a sense, this revival, rejuvenating to love our country, but not more importantly, but more so focused on entrepreneurship, being builders, right? Being creators.
Doing something better. Yeah. I mean, even the genesis of Solid Rock Recruiting, we thought that we could do recruiting better.
We didn't think we knew.
We for sure thought, and the thought became,
I knew. I knew 100%. It wasn't hard.
we're not reinventing the wheel here. We're just doing more efficiencies, there's more efficiencies built in. There's more processes built in.
More freedom.
More freedom built in within the processes that make the process of recruiting more efficient, more personable, et cetera. We talk about that, but I mean, the people oftentimes they'll overlook the opportunities that are staring them right in the face. I mean, they look at it and instead of seeing opportunity, they see roadblocks, and that's the entrepreneurial set, right? What if? What if you're asking a bunch of questions? What if?
What if I go broke? What if and I think that one thing, and I think you and I have this in common, and we really haven't even talked about it, but I've thought about it for sure, is like, we look at what we're doing here, not me and you. Look at what our team is doing, right? We've created the road, right? And now like there's not a lot more that we have to do. We just have to maintain that. But like I would say you and I are very like we don't really have a sense of risk. No. You know what I mean? Like there's really like and that can be a double-edged sword, right? But like, and I'm not bragging us up, but I'm like, man, like we've done like a lot of crazy stuff when we couldn't afford it, when we didn't know what we were doing, we didn't know anything, and there was just really no sense of risk. All we saw was we have to do this. And if we don't do this, like, what is it going to look like in 3 years if we don't do that? Like, that to me is the fear. Like, what does it look like if I don't do this?
I'd rather ask for forgiveness than permission, right?
Yeah, like shoot first, ask questions second. Right, Lucas? You got to jump in first and then tell them you don't know how to swim.
Ready, fire, aim.
Yeah, ready, fire, aim. Yeah.
Here's kind of an idea.
This is a fun one.
No, this is fun.
Sponsored by Velo now. Zinn is out the door. Velo's really good. Better quality product, cheaper, more in the pouch.
Here's a big question for you. Now, in our business, we know all the benefits of entrepreneurship.
We do. Yeah. I know all of the benefits and all of the
like staying awake at night, wondering if you're gonna, when are you gonna make payroll? Worried about this, worried about that. I really don't worry about things, but I do have things that keep me up at night sometimes. If I didn't do a job, did I make that phone call? Did I, did it? Yeah. But being a business owner, I'm working more and harder than I ever have before. But
it's fun.
It's way more fun.
It's way more fun.
And I'm making less money too.
Yeah, but also want to well, that's the thing too. It's like, I think that there's, like being content with what the Lord has provided though, right? Like that's one thing that I've had to rest on is like the Lord has never, left me hungry. He's never left me without clothing, without shelter. And it's like, why would he do that now? You know what I mean? Now, some of those things, I might not be eating, prime rib dinners every night.
You're not?
No, but if I have to eat a ramen noodle, I'm still being fed, right?
That's right. Amen.
One thing though, to kind of curtail off of what you were saying there is like, I also think, and I think we do a good job of this because our industry, and it's not just our industry, but like really more the way that we specifically built our company is like, entrepreneurs are welcome here.
Well, not only that, and that was kind of the pivot question. Yeah. So it's like, are we raising entrepreneurs or are we raising employees?
Exactly, dude.
Because there's two very, very different mindsets.
Exactly. Yes, there are.
Okay. So we have employees, right? Yep. They clock in at 8, they clock out at 5, and if they're told to do a task, they do it because they're told to do it, but they don't really think about, they're like robots. They don't really think about why they're doing it. We always talk about this though. We want to have in our company here, we want to have an ownership mindset. We want everybody to own their own desk, to be the CEO of their own desk, right? Within the boundaries of what we have here. But are we and how do we raise entrepreneurs here? Well,
and I think that's a good question. And I think like, to me, I've never really like thought about how do I raise an entrepreneur? I think of how do I raise somebody to the point to where they can be self-sufficient and in terms of not just in some things, but in all things, whether that's in surfacing candidates, negotiating contracts, putting a deal together. How can I get this person self-sufficient to where essentially they're just coming to me for, I don't know, hey, Shaun, can you get me a glass of water? I'm on the phone, right? Like, how do we create, and I think it's really the same mindset, right? But how do we build people to become self-sufficient, productive individuals for themselves, their family, for the Lord, for the company? How do we get them to be self-sufficient? And I think, when you look at the entrepreneur spirit, like the actual spirit of that, right? Self-sufficiency is one of those. Like, you cannot be a good entrepreneur and fully depend on someone else to do your work.
Well, and I think you have to give them also, and I think the big thing is giving them freedom to fail.
Oh, for sure.
You have to give them freedom to fail, right? We've talked about this before. When you're learning how to walk, you're falling down more than you're walking.
Yeah.
And you have to get those legs underneath you and understand about balance and all those other kind of things before you can really do it really, really well. You can't hold hands forever, right? You can't be a helicopter boss, so to speak. But there are times when, it's always good to have a second set of eyes or a second set of ears or a second set of whatever.
Well, I'll just give you an example on that. And I think that's a really good point because, one of our newer recruiters, and he's been grinding, he's been working hard. He embodies a solid rock spirit. And we kind of switched him to a different industry because the industry he was in before just wasn't fruitful. And I went down to his desk yesterday in the afternoon, and I knew he was working on this hot job. Just got a company signed up last Friday. Found a guy on Monday by himself. Found a guy. Phone call on Tuesday, face to face. It all happened fast. I didn't realize how fast it was moving. I was like, "So hey, how's that going?" He's like, "Yeah, he's got an offer." And new guys like you are we like to be involved. But dude, he just embodied that spirit. And I was there, we officially closed the deal this morning at 8 a.m. But he had that wherewithal, didn't really know what the hell he was doing, but embodied that spirit of I can do this. And I'm going to let you, I let him make all the calls, but I was there, right? I was there in case backup, but it was so cool seeing that. Now I told him, I said, "Hey bro, awesome job. Do that again and again and again. But anytime you get it to the finish line, just let me know so I can be there for some advice. And eventually you'll get off that long leash. After about 3 or 4 more, you don't have to tell me. Just send the invoice out, right?" But it was so cool, seeing somebody who's never really been an entrepreneur, he's been in some sales, to actually embody that spirit and just take hold of it. It was just incredible. And I'm gonna tell that story when we hang that deal this morning.
That would be awesome. No, I mean, why? I mean, here's the thing though. Why do people see, in your mind, people see obstacles instead of opportunities? What is it about the human psyche that just sees what can possibly go wrong versus what could possibly go right?
Yeah, well, I think a lot of this, I put a lot of thought into this, and I've probably said this before in the podcast. Do you have a little more to add on to that?
No,
okay.
I'm
not one of those guys who reads all these leadership books. I probably should at some point in time. But one thing I've noticed within myself over doing this for 11 years now is fear is crazy, right? Fear is, I think, at a lot of these things. And I always like to bring in, as examples, okay? Examples. So we have a new guy who's marketing a candidate in Minnesota. We reach out to the same company 6 times in a row, email, text, voicemails, never really got anybody on the phone. And I'm not kidding you. This is 2 or 3 days ago. He came across that company again on his call plan. He's like, "Well, should I call them? Because we've reached out to them so much." I'm like, "Yeah, until we hear a no or yes, we're calling them." Not kidding you. And so I'm going to articulate this as he's on the phone. So he's calling, the HR manager picks up. She's like, "Hey, I just listened to, I was literally listening to Shaun's voicemail. He sounds like a funny guy. We took a job order, sent out agreement, and haven't got it signed." But here's the thing though. In that moment, he's thinking, "Man, we've reached out. I don't want to piss him off. So to answer your question, I think fear is at the lot of this. I think when you boil it down, there is fear associated, and fear is a natural thing. I think fear is I'm not saying it's a good thing, but fear is a natural, it's built into all of us, right? The Bible talks about that. There's a verse, what's the verse? I don't know the specific verse, but there's plenty of verses in the Bible where it says, "Do not fear." Okay? Because the opposite of fear is trust. trusting in the Lord. And so I think fear stops a lot of people. And this isn't like earth shattering, human wisdom coming at you, but it is fear, man.
That's what it is. That's what it's all about. But I mean, great businesses, great recruiters, great entrepreneurs, just great people, period. They don't wait for opportunity. They go out and they grab it. And they really do prepare for it to happen. Yeah. They're doing things right now to prepare when the opportunity presents itself to them, and they're going out and they're grabbing it, right? We don't wait for job applications. We don't wait for resumes to come in. We don't do any of those things. We go out and we find the right candidate. We grab that candidate. We talk to the candidate.
And we know that what we do works. We know what we do works, and we trust in it. And we're going to go after it. And right now we're building, right? We're always going to be building.
Yeah.
We're going to, but like, it's like, man, I've reached out to that company, or I don't think this person's going to be interested. I looked at them on LinkedIn. They've been at the same company for 20 years. They're a VP. They're probably happy. I'm not going to call them.
Right.
That's fear. No, call them, dude. Have a conversation.
Yeah. Fear can absolutely destroy businesses. Right.
Well, even the culture, we came from a place where it appeared to me where the fear trickled down from the top. Yeah. And it was just all driven by fear. Everything was fear-based. Right. And it's like, how's that working out?
Yeah, exactly.
Might be good for the people at the top. The people at the bottom, not working out very well.
Right. So I want to go back to kind of the theme that also separates us. We always talk about how this is a capitalistic company. I mean, we create opportunities for people. I mean, we create opportunities for people.
We are builders.
We are builders.
We are creators. We are visionaries.
Right. So what separates people who build businesses from people who are just simply consumers? People that just simply say, well, I should take from that trillionaire and I should go educate all the children out there in the country that need education or food or whatever. I should take that $1 trillion from someone that's earned it. I mean, what is that? What's the separation there from people that build those businesses from people that just want to grab and take and consume?
I would love to hear you answer your own question on this.
I think it's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do think it's what we're talking about. I mean,
you don't have to be politically correct. Just go at it. We have no fear.
I mean, the bottom line is, I mean, we look at these, we look at what's happening in some of the cities around the country, where we're having literal democratic socialists say that we are going to control the means of production. We're going to control where you live. We're going to control what you eat, how you get transported around the city. All these things, we're going to control those things, right? And the only people that get rich out of that situation is the people that are in government.
Bureaucrats, elected people. Yep.
They get rich out of the situation. That's why I love living in America. That's why I love a capitalistic society, because I can go out and I can make for myself and create for myself the opportunities that I have. Now, I say myself, all glory goes to God, right? Number one, first and foremost, what separates me is that I have the belief that I, under God, can do better than what somebody else can do for me. And I believe that I love my family. I love my friends.
No one's gonna love your family like you. No one's gonna go out there and produce for them like you. No one's gonna, do it in the way, right? No one's gonna do it in the way that you would.
Right. No, there's just no way. So that's my mental. What separates me from a lot of other people is that I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna build something that I believe is really, really good for everybody involved.
Well, and we're building a product here, aren't we? Are we not? We're building a product.
We are.
We're building a brand. We're building a product, and like we just got one of the top recruiters from a company in Sioux Falls, and multiple people have reached out to me. Multiple people have reached out to them. They're like, "Wow, like what's going on over there?" It's like because we are building the best product in our industry that I'm aware of. And if there's something better I want to know about it, I want to meet the owner because I want to learn. But we're building the best product out there right here in Hartford, South Dakota.
Right. I mean, and that's awesome. So at the end of the day, maybe the greatest thing at America 250 that we can celebrate isn't our history. It's the opportunity that's still in front of us.
Amen.
And so with that, episode number 10 wraps. And I'm told that we're in the top 1% of all podcast episodes in the whole world that ever happened by the producer here.
Wow, it must be true then.
It must be true because I think he got it off of Google. Anyway, come back next time for this Built on Solid Rock podcast. I'm John. This is Shaun. We'll see you next time.
Peace.